All right. Struggling running backs. So the group that I wanted to focus on was Ekeler, Bijan, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. I'll say we'll throw Joe Mixon in there. And I was going to mention Rashad White kind of separately, just because I think it's worth mentioning that his schedule has just been an absolute beast. But if we look at those top five, Ekeler, Bijan, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, how would you, let's rank them. Heath, you want to start? Rank those. You want me to start? I could do it.
I think I can start if you wanted me to.
Go ahead, Dave.
I think Bijan's going to be at the top of the list. I know everybody's sour on him because of what happened last week, but we know what I don't even know if the upside has been realized yet with him. And then I have to say that I'm not sure if the upside will ever be realized this year because of how he's using that offense. But that being said, he's had a number of really good games, and I can't help but think that he'll be good to go as an RB1 rest of season. So he's my highest ranked guy of that group. Ekeler is second, but it's a lot more that almost feels more like a wish than anything else because he did not look good. I hated how they used him last week. If he has a bad game against Chicago, I almost wonder if the conversation changes entirely with Austin Ekeler. He hasn't really played a lot this year, but when he's played, 3 explosive plays, rushing and receiving combined. So that's something that kind of troubles me. I think Jacobs is the name you gave. He's next on the list for me. And then Jones and Mixon. Do I have enough confidence in Jones to put him over Mixon? I don't like hearing that Jones says that he's not at 100%. When's he not going to be 100%? And his workload last week explains why the coaches were hesitant to use him and why they rolled with A.J. Dillon a little bit more. But Mixon's been so bad, and I just don't know when he's going to be able to deliver. I mean, I'll take 16 PPR points from Mixon and go have a parade in the street for him.
Oh yeah,
he hasn't come close to that. 13.5 is his high so far this year. But if he's healthy and Jones isn't, then I got to put Mixon ahead of Jones.
Mixon. All right, so Dave goes Bijan, Ekeler, Jacobs, Mixon, Aaron Jones. Who's next? Who's got next?
Ekeler, Bijan, Jacobs, Jones, Mixon.
Yeah. All right. A little different there. Heath, you're going the same thing, Ekeler over Bijan.
I'm definitely going with Ekeler over Bijan. I've actually got Jones ahead of Mixon. Yeah, Jacobs, Jones, and Mixon, I think, are basically all about the same for me. They're all 3 RB2s. But Ekeler and Bijan clearly ahead of those 3.
So who do you think of this group are you're enthusiastic about for the second half of the season, if any?
Ekeler and Bijan.
Still Jacobs and Jones too.
Okay, very different takes here. So Dave, you're a little hesitant with Ekeler. So and I get it. You got 2 ankle injuries. Hopefully, like I was worried about Kelsey a few weeks ago. Okay, it was obvious that Kelsey wasn't himself. His stats indicated it. He was doing nothing after the catch. But I do think that with these types of injuries, I think a lot of times guys get healthy. It takes 3 to 4 weeks, maybe something like that. Heath, didn't you say something about a Twitter doctor? Oh, you said something about Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Oh, he was supposed to be part of this segment. I'm so sorry. Oh. I knew I forgot someone. Pollard absolutely should be in this segment. Can we throw Pollard in there?
Ekeler,
yep.
Bijan, Pollard, Jacobs, Jones, Mixon.
Yep, he is in the gap between Ekeler and Bijan and the other 3.
For right now, he's behind Ekeler for me. Next week could be ahead of everybody.
But yeah, Pollard's got that ankle. You said, what did you say, Heath? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
It was basically just that I can't remember what the name of that surgery is that he had done on his ankle, but it has just sapped some of his burst. It is, and it wasn't an optimistic one about that coming back.
Was it the tightrope?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Because I've come to learn that the tightrope surgery is actually like a good thing, but maybe it varies from player to player. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I mean, like he has not looked right exactly.
No.
And I don't even think he's a top 15 running back, Tony Pollard, on a per game basis.
He is. He's 11th.
Per game? Yep. Oh, maybe in full PPR. He has a lot of catches. Now, Jacobs, is interesting. And Heath, you've really soured on him, it seems, but he's per game, he's 20th in PPR, 25th in non-PPR. He's averaging 2.9 yards per carry, but he has the third most carries, the most targets, and the second most catches among running backs. So, I mean, I just gave you a reason to be disgusted, but a reason to be optimistic as well. But you're not there yet with Jacobs.
I am. Yeah, I'm disgusted.
You're not optimistic.
And I don't necessarily think that the bad rushing average has a whole lot to do with Josh Jacobs. Like, he's not been as good as he was last year, but the offensive line's just been absolutely awful. And I just don't have a lot of reason for optimism. In fact, I think with this Raiders team, they've probably been more competitive the first 7 weeks of the season than I would expect them to be the second half of the season. So I think he'll be an RB2. He'll probably be a little bit better than what he's been so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged 3.5 yards per carry, but I'm not optimistic we're getting a top 12 running back at all this year.
Jamie, you expressed some optimism, I think, for Josh Jacobs. And let me ask you about some of the guys who have really emerged. You got Mostert, who's a top 5 running back. Etienne, who I think is number 2 per game. Let's see. DeAndre Swift is one of them. I might be missing somebody. But would you take Jacobs over Pacheco? Sure. How many of those guys would you take Josh Jacobs over? The Dolphins running backs, DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, and Pacheco, sorry.
I would take him over Mostert when Etienne is back. I would take him over Pacheco. I would take Swift over him. Did you say somebody else? I'm sorry.
Well, would you take him over Etienne when Etienne is back?
No, I would take Etienne over Jacobs if he comes back and is 100%.
All right.
With the uncertainty of it, I would take Jacobs.
Okay. Do you guys think that Bijan?
I still think, look, he's played 2 games without Jimmy Garoppolo. Who knows how many more he'll miss with Garoppolo, but taking the quarterback out of the equation. I think there's still a lot to like about Jacobs moving forward. He has zero competition.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the biggest sell.
Touchdown. Like he bobbled a touchdown. I wonder what the perception would be if he had caught that ball. It was ruled a touchdown.
But I don't know why we should expect him to do that. He has literally never done that.
Well, he did it. It just he
has like 150 career receptions and 0 receiving. He's Jacoby Myers.
By the way, just on a side note, most carries this year without a touchdown. Anybody know who has the most carries? Bijan is second. Only one running back has more carries this year without a rushing touchdown. I'm not gonna call him a buy low though. It's Alexander Madison. It's the most carries. Yes. So, do you guys think Bijan and Ekeler will be league winners?
Yes.
I'm cringing at that term, and I used it this week myself. I think that they've got the potential to be. I think Bijan will be. I'm a little nervous about Ekeler. I didn't like what I saw last week. And it's not just the ankle thing and the lack of explosiveness, the play calling. They ran him between the tackles so often.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't use him in the passing game. The offensive line isn't that good. He's not exploding, figuratively, not literally. I'm worried about Ekeler not being right. It sounds like he had a high ankle sprain early on in the year. He already missed a chunk of games because of that. Are they rushing him back a little bit? Could he be okay by week 10, week 11? Maybe. I hope. I don't want to get him off my team. I'm not saying to trade him away unless someone's going to give you a king's ransom for him. Then I would. But I also don't want to say that he's a buy low unless you're getting him for peanuts.
I mean, no one's going to give you Ekeler for peanuts, but they could give you Ekeler for Mostert. Would you take Ekeler for Mostert?
Oh, yeah.
I think I would for sure, because Mostert's got an Etienne problem.
What about Swift? What about DeAndre Swift? What about Travis Etienne?
Yeah, I'll hold him. I'll keep him over those. Etienne I'll take for him.
Wait, sorry. I'm confused. You'd rather have Etienne or
I'd
Ekeler?
rather have Etienne than Ekeler.
Rather have Swift or Ekeler?
Ekeler.
Anybody taking Swift over Ekeler?
No.
No.
Swift or Pollard?
Pollard.
Tony.
Flip a coin.
Okay. I'm not very good at flipping coins. I can't really do it. I think I just
How
have to.
can you not flip a coin?
I don't know.
I would assume your thumb's not strong enough.
That might be it. I have really bad coordination and motor skills. This is a true story, actually. They wanted to hold me back in kindergarten because my fine motor skills were so bad. I couldn't cut and paste, basically. Yeah.
Dan's going to kill you.
They didn't hold me back. He hasn't killed me for blowing out my rib cage from coughing. He's going
to kill you in your competition.
Oh. No, he's not. I don't need motor
is.
skills to beat Dan. All right. Oh, Rashad White, I just wanted to mention if anybody is at all enthused about him, the schedule he has played has just been really brutal. He did have the 6 catches last week against Buffalo and Houston. It's not like a super easy schedule because he has Tennessee and San Francisco, but there are some good matchups coming up for him. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in his next, I think, 8 games that rank 22nd or worse against running backs. So we don't talk a lot about Rashad White, but
Tennessee might not be a good matchup by the time that happens too.
Might not be. Yeah, that's in 3 weeks.
He's a borderline number 2 running back.
I don't even know if he's that high.
I think if you are trying to get somebody cheap that has the potential to work his way into a top 20 player, I don't think he's going to be a league winner, but that's the type of guy that could do it.
He could be a league loser though, because he's not a good runner at all. The interior offensive line isn't good. He's dancing on pretty much every single carry he gets. He's running right up the middle. I don't like him in the matchup against Buffalo, for example, this week, because Buffalo's really good at stopping running backs up the gut. You're hoping that he continues to put up season highs in catches and yards. He had a career high in receiving yards last week. I can't get interested in him. And for whatever it's worth, Chase Edmonds is coming back. He might take a little bit of work away from him. He hasn't been good. I wouldn't want to get him on.
He definitely has not been good, but if he's going to be involved in the pass game, that's his best asset. So,
but he might not be, because the one thing that Chase Edmonds has been okay at is being a pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yeah, but I mean, that still could be 3 weeks from now.
It could. Well, yeah. I mean, he's practicing. I wouldn't give up. If you're trading for Rashad White, please don't give up that much.
Hey, if anybody in the chat has any questions about the running backs we just talked about, please fire away. This is a little bit off topic, but not really. But Mark Bacon says, I think Travis Etienne is a sell high. I want to get your thoughts on that. I mean, the guy has 6 touchdowns in his last 3 games. I think he's averaging 4 yards per carry this year.
He has more multiple touchdown games than Trevor Lawrence.
That's great.
Does anybody feel that way about Etienne, that he's a sell high?
I think if you could turn Etienne, look, I mean, if Etienne for Ekeler is on the table, you have to consider it. And I think most people would probably take Ekeler. I think if you could turn Etienne into Bijan, not a bad way to go. So you're looking at somebody who's been awesome and should continue to be great. I mean, this isn't, again, he's going to struggle, but if you can get somebody that has the potential to be slightly better, because he has been touchdown dependent. So that's the one thing you want to be a little bit concerned about.
I think the question with him is is Trevor Lawrence going to solve the red zone, or Doug Peterson or whoever needs to solve it, the red zone issues for the passing game? Or are they going to lean into the fact that they're pretty good running the ball in there, and that's how they're going to score a lot of their touchdowns?
I think
that's we saw last year. Detroit just scored a lot of their touchdowns from inside the 5 running the ball. That's what Jacksonville is doing so far, and they've got to
getting there, right? They're not even getting to the red zone. They're Etienne scoring from 20 yards out a lot.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they are not passing the ball in the red zone. They are not.
The other thing you could look at is the schedule for Jacksonville. It's projected to be bottom 6 rest of season, bottom 3 for the next 4 weeks. It's tough, but he just had a tough matchup against New Orleans on a short week, and he spiked them in a big way. I'm not trading Travis Etienne for almost anything. It's got to be like a solid package, and he's averaging almost 22 touches per game. He's being used the way that we want our elite running backs to be used. Yes. And he's scoring a ton. Who cares if it's if he scores 1 touchdown every other game for the rest of the season and he's still getting 22 touches, he's still going to be a great fantasy running back.
Yeah. But would you do this? Would you trade? This is not about him. This is Ekeler for Kamara. Who would you guys rather have, Ekeler or Kamara?
Kamara.
Yeah, I've got Kamara 1 spot higher, but I don't it seems like a really weird trade to me. You're just trading one old running back for another old running back. They had the same similar upside, similar risks.
Pollard or Barkley?
One of them's got check down Carr throwing to him. I will take Saquon rest of season.
I'll take Pollard.
I'll take Saquon.
I think there was one more question here. How about this? James Cook or Jonathan Taylor? I don't know if that's a rest of season or not, but
It's
Taylor.
It doesn't matter. It's Taylor.
okay. Yeah, I think let me throw Taylor in there. Like, how do you rank him with Ekeler, with Bijan? Like, stop me when Taylor needs to be ranked. Bijan, Ekeler, Pollard.
Nope. Go back.
He's in this mix for
He's
me.
right there. He's ahead of Pollard.
I think he might be better than Ekeler rest of season. He looks good. That offense can run. I think he'll lead the way in touches from here on out. I think he's back to being an RB1.